Psycho is a 1960 film directed by Alfred Hitchcock. It is very well known throughout the States and throughout the whole country and around the world. Most notably for the shower scene, which is quite evident, and every time you see a poster or picture or any time someone mentions Psycho, you instantly know what it is. It is the shower scene where the lady gets stabbed. The main lead actress, Janet Leigh, she portrays a character, Marion Crane, and it is one of my most favorite films. It is the third Hitchcock film I saw. I remember my first Hitchcock film I've seen, it was The Lady Vanishes. After I watched Lady Vanishes, I watched The 39 Steps. That was when I was almost hooked, but not quite there. My mom gave me money to go to the video store because this is how I watched the movies. And I went to the video store. I've always had the Psycho VHS in my hand. I always wanted to watch this movie. She told me to go rent a horror film. She said if you rent a horror film, it cannot be R rating, which is very hard. Like, how do you rent a horror movie that's not R rated? Well, I figured since this film was very old and it was black and white, maybe I can get away with this. I got the movie, brought it home, showed my mom, and she looked at it and she liked, it's black and white and it's old. I couldn't believe I did it. I put the movie inside the VHS player. My mom was right there on the sofa. I was right there on the floor. So was my brothers, and well, actually, one of my brothers was watching it. It was very late at night, and I thought it was the best movie I have ever seen. The score by Bernard Herrmann, I thought was fantastic, and it still is fantastic to this day. Whenever people refer to Psycho, this is the theme that they hear. It's that knife stabbing wheel sound with the violins. It's just grand. I could watch this movie all the time and it never has bored me. I remember when I got the CD, I think I got it at the CD at a thrift store, and I would play games with my friends when I used to live in Gainesville, Florida, and we would pop in CDs and we'll just guess who the artist and what's the sound, what's the song, what CD it is, and so forth. I said it was my turn. I was the one driving. I went to my CD case. Remember that big file where you had like 35 CDs? Actually, mine was like 120. I grabbed that Psycho CD, put it inside, put it on full blast, and it looked at me a little bit odd. When that violin hit, they were start punching me, and they were pretty ticked off, which you never want to punch the driver. A lot of people would consider this a horror movie. I have never considered Psycho much of a horror film. I consider it much more of a thriller with some horror elements. This was his very last black and white film. It kind of made me sad because I very much love black and white films. There's a scene in there that I very much enjoy. Well, it's actually the way how the scenes play out. In the very beginning, it starts off with Marion Crane as she is having a 1-hour lunch break with her lover. And there's no scenes of sex, but it is implied that it has happened there. So you see her with the white bra and the white undergarment and so forth, right there talking to her lovers, talking about how they want to get away and they just want to forget the world and so forth. There is a scene where she's no longer wearing the white undergarments but black. Alfred Hitchcock said this was the transition of showing how the innocence and purity she was from before, and now she's got this dark secret sin, and she's now running away. You can see even her purse, which was once white, now is black. I think that's a very great key just to look at. She runs away. She comes on the side of the freeway, falls asleep because she's exhausted from trying to outrun her past. A cop comes along, knocks on the door, asks her where she's going. She's right there freaking out. The cop lets her go. Couldn't find anything wrong with her. She goes, swaps the car out. She keeps on going. She comes across the Bates Motel, and that's when things become interesting because you come across this character named Norman Bates, who is the owner of the hotel. There's just an oddity. You can't put your finger on it, but it's something very strange about him. And you can see that he likes her, but they have in the back room a late night sandwich snack. They discuss things, and just watching the camera move is just fantastic. You see the camera go from just a normal just straight like right now. I loved how he used the camera, just pointing that unsurety of that you don't quite know, what you can't put your finger on. They discuss about his mother. He's not in his right stable mind, as you could tell. After the odd conversation between Norman Bates and Marion Crane of his mother, she tells him goodnight. She goes to her room, which is right next to the office, room number 1, and she begins calculating the money that was spent when she swapped out the car earlier, using the cash from the $40,000. She looks at it, rips it up, throws it into the toilet, flushes it. This becomes really weird because Norman Bates has this little peephole, and he removes his picture and he looks at the peephole watching her undress. However, he does not finish watching her undress completely because he stands up, puts the picture frame back, and just walks out of the office and goes to his home, more than likely to tend to his mother again. This is when the infamous shower scene takes place because you see her, she is completely naked, she has no protection, she is just relaxing after the long, stressful day of stealing money. The man who paid $40,000 for the house, the land, and everything else hires a private investigator to find out what's happened to this money. The private investigator comes across Marion Crane's sister. He's interrogating her, asking her. She doesn't know. She knows that something has happened between her and her lover. They just want her. She just wants her sister back. They want the money back. They want everything to be forgiven and gone. The investigator starts searching at every hotel, every room for rent, and he just keeps going because he believes she is really close. He goes across, he sees this hotel, inquires Norman Bates, and he knows something's off. He starts questioning him. He asks more about her. He says no. He declines. Says that you have to have a warrant if you want to go any further. He talks about the mother. He wants to question the mother. The private investigator, Arbogast, his name, sorry I didn't mention that earlier, calls Lila, Marion Crane's sister. He said he didn't found her, but he found something. He found the signature. He found where the last place she was at. So this brings a bit of a relief. He says he'll call her back in an hour. Over an hour has passed. I think it's been like 2 hours. They talk to each other, the boyfriend and Lila, and she's saying, okay, it has been way over an hour. We need to go out to this hotel from when Arbogast. We need to go investigate. Lila and Sam talk to the sheriff. The sheriff tells the two if they wish to report a missing person and a theft for the $40,000, they can do that because the sheriff, after talking to him, believes they have stole the $40,000. They don't really like this idea because they really still believe something's happened, so they decide to go to the Bates Motel and find out for themselves of what has taken place. They said it was going to go as man and wife, and they was going to search every inch of the cabin. Do they find Mother? Do they find Marion and Arbogast? If you haven't seen this film, watch it and find out. If you've already seen the film, then you already know what's taking place from this point. The very end scene, people may come in question, especially for today's standards, because when you watch this film, you could think like, oh, I already understand what's happening. I get what's happening. I don't need somebody else to explain what's happened, what I just saw, or what has happened. But since this was filmed at a different time, so people had to be explained. I have never gotten bored from it. I just want to know, what is your thoughts and what are your views on the movie? If you have seen it, if it's your first time, 100th time, I don't know, let me know. To comment below, tell me what were your thoughts on the film. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. I'm still trying to work better on my film editing and along with my movie reviews. As you say, this is going to be my third movie review, which makes my third Hitchcock film. Just realized that. And again, put that thumbs up. Please subscribe. It really does help. It's easy, especially if you have an Android phone. You just hit subscribe and boom, that's it. You don't have to hit the notification bell if you want to. If you do, thank you so much. And if you do give me a thumbs down, please let me know why you give me a thumbs down. Don't just give me a thumbs down just to put a thumbs down. I like to know the reason why you give me a thumbs down. That would greatly help too. And if you have any anything else to say about what are your thoughts about my videos or my reviews, let me know. I'll do my best to contact you in the comments as soon as possible. And thank you once again. Cheers.